Hi, I'm Jennifer, and I'm here with the cameraman, and we are doing a Minds in Motion on-demand activity video. Together, we're going to work through a variety of questions, all from around the world, as you sit in the comfort of your own home or wherever you are today. In the spirit of multiculturalism and community building, this activity is going to be brought to life by sharing many beautiful, inspiring, and often mouth-watering images from the Guelph Multicultural Festival, which takes place every year in Guelph, Ontario. So a very big thank you to the Guelph District Multicultural Festival for all the work that they do to organize such a wonderful and positive community event, and also for sharing these images with us today. So, no passport needed, just get comfortable, fasten up your imaginary seatbelt, and let's take off. Around the world, here we go. So I have my questions in my little suitcase here, and we're going to go through them one by one. I'm going to start with our first question. So here we go. Bula, Shalom, Neho, and Jambo. What do those four words or phrases have in common? All right, so take some time to think about it. Bula, Shalom, Neho, and Jambo. What do these have in common? Cameraman, any thoughts?
Yeah, a few.
Okay, good. Well, if you're not sure and you want a little more time to think about it, feel free to pause the video. If you'd like a little hint, I'm going to give you a little hint. I hope that helped. So yes, these are all ways of saying hi or hello in different languages. So the first one, Bula. Any idea where that one comes from, cameraman?
Somewhere in Africa?
Okay. Fiji, not that close, but exotic. Shalom.
Israel.
You got it. Israel. Neho. Nope.
No idea.
Has no idea. China. And then the last one, Jambo.
Africa?
Kenya. All right. What is the name of this traditional Scottish athletic event normally practiced at the Scottish Highland Games? So think about it. I have a little image here for you to look at. Examine it closely, and if you know what the answer is, that's great. If you're not so sure, I do have some choices for you. Is it A, log rolling, B, caber toss, or C, pole vaulting? What do you think? So this is an athletic event normally practiced at the Scottish Highland Games. All right. The answer is B, caber toss. Did you know that one, cameraman?
I didn't.
No. Okay. So, caber toss, and the caber is actually the long wooden pole that you see in the picture, and it's tapered at one end. It's about 16 to 20 feet long and weighs upwards of about 150 pounds. And you would think that the idea is to throw it as far as you possibly can, but that's not the case. It actually has to be balanced in the palms of the participants' hands with the heavy end at the top. And the idea is actually to throw it so that it tumbles end to end, and the winner is the one that has their caber land in the closest position to 12 o'clock. Yeah, apparently it's based on throwing the logs, the lumberjacks back in the day. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. So that is B, caber toss. All right, next question. This is for the dancers. What style of Indian dance was made famous by the movie industry? All right, what do you think? Cameraman, do you have an idea?
I think I do.
Okay. Would you like to hear some
what are
options? The options, always the options. A, Bombay Cha-Cha. B, Bollywood. C, Moonwalk. All right, smarty pants there, cameraman. What do you think the answer is?
Well, I don't think it's the Bombay Cha-Cha.
Okay.
I think it's B, Bollywood.
You got it. B for Bollywood. Originated from the Indian filmmaking industry that began in Bombay, which is now called Mumbai. It was based on classical folk dances, but eventually did become more influenced by Western culture. And just an interesting fact about Indian dance, many dances in India coming from different regions, including Bollywood, but they all have very expressive gestures with the body and the head and the hands. And actually, there are almost 1,000 different hand movements that are used, and they all mean something different. As well, you'll see from this picture, the colors of the costumes are extremely vibrant, and that's also part of the symbolism and the story that's told. All right, my armchair travelers, let me reach in my case here and find us another question. All right, this is a listening question. So I want you to listen carefully here and see if you recognize this sound. Okay, great. Do you know what that is? Does it ring any bells? If you haven't figured it out, I'm going to tell you that was Big Ben chiming. And Big Ben is the clock tower in London, England. Maybe some of you have visited there. Something that I didn't know actually is that Big Ben was renamed the Elizabeth Tower, and this was in 2012 to commemorate the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. So I thought that was interesting. It's known to be one of the most accurate and reliable clocks in the world because of its intricate design, but it's not always perfect. In 1944, for example, a flock of birds rested on the minute hand, and this caused the clock to run slow. So there you go. Nothing is 100% perfect. All right, next question. Damper, lavash, focaccia, and chapati. What do these four things have in common? Damper, lavash, focaccia, and chapati. All right, take a little time, stop the video, think about it. I'll give you a little hint. You can eat all of these things. All right, well, the answer, they are all different types of bread from different countries. So damper, cameraman, damper, any idea? No, originated in Australia. This is a thick homemade soda bread baked in the coals of a campfire. Lavash, Armenian? No, can't remember that.
I've never been to Armenia.
Well, I'm sure, well, okay, fair enough. So Armenian, thin, soft bread baked in a clay oven, traditionally. Focaccia.
I've had that.
Okay, where do you think focaccia comes from?
It sounds Italian.
It is Italian, you're right. And it's similar texture to pizza. And chapati, which we have a picture of some chapati being made, is like roti, and it's an unleavened bread originating from India. All right, great. Sweden is known to have the most what? Cameraman?
Meatballs?
Ooh, there you go. That's not the answer. They might have the most meatballs. I was going to say IKEA's, but could be. All right, if you're not sure, this was one that was news to me. So we've got some choices. A, Sweden is known to have the most moose. B, islands. And you read my mind. C, meatballs. So what do you think? You want to change your answer, cameraman? Or you like the idea of meatballs?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sticking with meatballs.
Okay, well, maybe, but based on what I found, B is the official answer. It's islands, made up of nearly 270,000 islands. Sweden is. About 1,000 are not inhabitable. you can't go on them. 24,000 are open to the public. So lots and lots of islands, which also links into the idea of moose, also important to Sweden because that is their national animal. Half the country is covered in forest. So great place for moose to survive. And as for the meatballs, well, you know, probably Swedish meatballs. I'm sure they have a lot of those. All right.
Moose meat.
Maybe with moose meat. You got it. Okay. All right. Great. All right. Here's one. I am looking for a word that is both a nut and a country. So one word that is both a nut and a country. And a little hint, a South American country. So think about it. Think of the nuts. Think of a name of a nut that's also a country. Starts with the letter B. The answer is Brazil, right? So we have Brazil nuts, and we also have the country of Brazil. And just an interesting fact about Brazil nuts, they are extremely nutritious and rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. And I believe having a few of them a day can be very beneficial to good health. Let's do another question. Let me reach into my suitcase here, my little mini suitcase. Another food one. All right, listen to this. What type of food is made by grilling a vertical spit of stacked meat, which is sliced off and wrapped in grilled bread with tomatoes, onions, and sauces? So here's a picture of what this finished food item looks like. What is this called? Have you ever had something like this before? And if you're waiting to have your lunch, this might make you quite hungry. So I do have some choices for you if you're not sure what it is. Is it A, a kebab, B, a burrito, or C, a gyro? Which one of those is this called? All right, well, the answer is C, a gyro. And a gyro originated in Greece. And the name actually means circle or turn, which is the way that the spit cooks. It turns in circles with some kind of a heat source behind it. And they're very tasty and yeah, very delicious to have. So great picture. All right, let's grab another question. In which country can you find paella and flamenco dancing? In which country can you find paella and flamenco dancing? All right, give it some thought. Take a little time. If you're not sure and you need a little help, here are your options. A, Serbia, B, Somalia, or C, in Spain. What do you think? Paella and flamenco dancing. Well, the answer, if you haven't already figured it out, is C, Spain. So first of all, paella, what is paella? Cameraman, paella?
I've eaten it. I
don't know what it is.
remember.
Okay, so it's a type of traditional dish in Spain. It's a Spanish rice dish made with seafood and often has a very special ingredient in it, which is quite expensive and starts with an S. It's a type of spice. Does anybody know? Cameraman?
Saffron.
Saffron, excellent, yes. And flamenco dancing is also a traditional type of Spanish dancing, lots of clapping and feet tapping. They actually have nails in their shoes. All right, this is a matching activity. So I want you to take a look at these 4 images. And I'm also going to give you 4 words. So take some time and see if you can match the word to the correct image. Stop the video if you need some time to think about this. Little hint, all of these images are from Japanese culture. So you have koto, emoji, kimono, and wagasa. Stop the video if you'd like a little more time. If you're ready for the answers, here they are. A, koto. And koto is a string instrument. Usually the popular ones have 13 strings. They are strung over movable bridges for tuning, and you pluck it like a guitar. B is an emoji, and these are little pictures used on electronic devices such as cell phones to communicate an emotion or message. C is a kimono. This is a traditional dress worn by geisha and now worn at festivals and ceremonies. And then D is wagasa, which is an umbrella made of bamboo and paper, originally used to shield the upper class from sunlight and evil spirits, and now are used in dance and other type of traditional ways. All right, let's grab another question. Let me dig here in my case. Here's a good one. What was the original purpose of the Leaning Tower of Pisa? All right, so I can't stay over like that for long. Maybe you know the answer to this. If you don't, take a little bit of time, think about it. I do have some choices for you. Cameraman, do you know?
Well, it's a restaurant.
No. Okay.
Pizza restaurant.
Maybe now, but no. Definitely not the answer for what the original purpose was. Here are some options to think about. A, bell tower. B, a landmark. Or C, a showpiece of Italian architecture. So think about it. The answer is actually A. The original purpose was a bell tower of Pisa Cathedral, which is very close by. So yes, it has leaned for a long time. It's over 200 years old. It now leans roughly 4 degrees, but very stabilized. But it's leaned apparently in many directions over time because the ground, it's the foundation that's unstable. And I guess, as things, thaw and freeze or whatever, it's leaned different ways, and they've worked at it over the years to try to find different ways to stabilize it. But apparently, despite, leaning from the beginning, construction began in 1173. So it's been around for a while and it's never fallen over. And to this day, it's stable, and you can actually, as a tourist, pay to climb up it. And no, there's no restaurant at the top. I think that would be too heavy. It would definitely topple over. All right. Here, let's move on. Okay. In First Nations spirituality, what shape is everywhere? So First Nations spirituality, what shape is seen everywhere in this culture? So give it a little time, think about it. I'm going to give you some choices, some shape choices. A, so one of them is the correct answer. A, circle. B, square. Or C, triangle. What shape is everywhere in First Nations spirituality? The answer, and it makes sense, is circle. So circle is the symbol for the cycle of all forms of life, and particularly First Nations. Their meetings and gatherings are all held in circles. Their dances are done in circles, drums are round, etc. So yes, circle, very, very big part of that culture. Here's a sporty question for you sporty folks out there. What is the second most popular sport in the world? Not the first, but the second. Do you know, cameraman? No, he doesn't know. Okay. Little hint for you if you're not sure. Played with bats, wickets, and bails. So not baseball bat. Yeah. The answer starts with the letter C, cricket. Cricket was invented in England in the 16th century, and It's been rumored, actually, that shepherds are the ones that came up with the idea of cricket. When they were out in the fields watching the sheep, they were bored and they made up this game. And the first cricket ball was likely a ball of wool. They would bat it around. It's now enjoyed in over 150 countries, very popular in India, Pakistan, and Australia. All right, that's cricket. First, most popular sport in the world. What do you think that is? Cameraman? Football. And not...
World football.
It's soccer, right? Okay, perfect. What structure was 26.5 miles long until it was taken down in 1989? All right, so we're looking for the name of a structure, where it was located, started to be taken down or dismantled in 1989. So you might know, you know your history, or maybe you don't, and you need a little help. So here are some choices. A, am I talking about the Berlin Wall? B, the Belfast Peace Wall? C, the Great Wall of China? What do you think? The answer is A, the Berlin Wall. So construction began in 1961 of this wall dividing East and West Berlin in Germany. Then in 1989, a gate was opened and the demolition of the wall began shortly after that. All right, let's keep going. A few more questions here. Gonna grab now another one from my bag. We have another dance question. All right, I want you to look at this video and I want you to see if you can identify this ancient dance form. All right, here's a little hint if you're not sure. Originated in Egypt, and Mata Hari was one of these. She was famous for many things, but she was one of these types of dancers. All right, if you don't already know the answer, it is belly dancing. Belly dancing, one of the most ancient dance forms in the world, very unique because of the way the torso is isolated and moved rather than the rest of the limbs, very unique. And just a little bit more on Mata Hari, if you're not sure who she was many things, including studying to be a kindergarten teacher, and then she joined the circus, she became a belly dancer, and then eventually was convicted of being a spy during World War I, and she was executed. So I thought that was kind of interesting. All right, belly dancing. Let's reach in here and grab another question and see what we've got. Okay, so this is a question about a couple of items that I have here with me. These are my personal items. And the question is, if you visit Mexico, you will see a lot of these. What are they called? So take a look. There's two of them here, and I love them. They are very intricately hand painted. I brought them back with me and I display them in my home. If you're not sure of what they're called, I'm going to give you some hints. So here we go. Are they A, sugar skulls, B, fiesta skulls, or C, sugar craniums? What do you think? What do you think they're called? Take a good look. The answer actually is A, sugar skulls. So if you've never seen them before or didn't know, they are actually decorative skulls made from sugar or clay, and they are used to celebrate a Mexican celebration called Day of the Dead. And they're made to represent and celebrate those that have passed on. And that celebration is usually November the 1st. And you'll see these everywhere in Mexico, especially around that time. Okay, you ready? You ready, cameraman?
I'm ready.
Okay, excellent. Adios, au revoir, sayonara, and farewell. What do these four words have in common? Adios, au revoir, sayonara, and farewell. I'm going to give you a little hint. All right, if you haven't already figured it out, all of these words mean goodbye in different languages. Adeus is Portuguese. Au revoir is French. Sayonara, cameraman, sayonara? Japanese, you got it. And farewell is Danish. And they mean goodbye, see you soon, farewell. And in our case, they mean we're done. So we've come to the end of our activities. So I want to thank you very much for joining me today. I hope it was fun for you. I hope it brought back some memories of some travels that you've had in the past, or maybe you've learned something new about a country or a culture. I'd also like to give a very big thank you to the Guelph District Multicultural Festival for sharing so many wonderful images and really helping to bring this program to life. So feel free to share some comments with us below, how you felt about the program. Also, feel free to come back and do this activity anytime you would like. All right, on that note, thanks again for joining me and take care. Sayonara. If you are living in the Waterloo-Wellington area and would like to participate in our ongoing virtual or in-person Minds in Motion program, or interested in any other programs or services, the Alzheimer's Society would love to hear from you. Please feel free to contact us through any of the offices listed on the screen. Thank you for joining us today.